Hello, this is Jam Master Daniel 96, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing episode 8 of The Mandalorian, and this is the season 1 finale, and I'm doing it in the same format as I did with episode 7 of The Mandalorian, which I did yesterday, and I rewatched the season finale today to get ready for the review, and with that out of the way, let's get to the video. Well, the eighth episode takes place right after the seventh episode, and as where the seventh episode ended on a cliffhanger, this is pretty much where it, like episode 8 picks right, after the seventh episode, and this is more like almost like with the seventh episode and the eighth episode of The Mandalorian is almost like you can watch this almost as one big episode. It's almost like a two-parter in a way. So, I mean, you can almost like watch this as one big episode. And so, I mean, pretty much it starts off with the scout troopers on their speeders with the Baby Yoda, which, they have him after they killed Quell. And so they're on their speeders, and then with the Baby Yoda, then they stop, and then they're kind of chatting and stuff, and then one of the scout troopers wants to see the Baby Yoda, and then they lets him open the bag, then the Baby Yoda bites him, then IG-11 comes, and then gets the scout troopers and fights him, and then rescues the Baby Yoda and goes on the speeder, and then we're at the place where the Mandalorian, Cara Dune, and Greef are kind of, like where we have them kind of taking cover from Moff Gideon, where he's just, standing there with all the big, battalion of stormtroopers and death troopers and all that, and then he's talking and stuff, and then, like, they're trying to find a way out, and then, because Greef says this is the only way out is there, where, they're all at, but then the Mandalorian suggests the sewers, which, he knows of the lady that gives him the Beskar and stuff. So we have that bit. And then, they plan that escape plan to get out. By then, the Mandalorian tries to, page Quell on the comlink, but nothing happens, and then he hears the Baby Yoda. Then IG-11 says that Quell was terminated, and the Mandalorian's kind of mad at him. He thinks, "What did you do?" But because he kind of thinks he's IG-11 is a killer, but IG-11 was reprogrammed as a nursing droid. So we have that bit, and then IG-11 comes in and comes back into the town, and then he gets a speeder and shoots all the other stormtroopers. Then they have the big breakout against the stormtroopers, and then kind of like, so we have that bit, and then we have kind of Cara Dune and them are trying to shoot their way into the sewers because it's so sealed, and then they have the big fight with all the stormtroopers, and then also Moff Gideon talks about how about their deal that he'll have till night until that turret goes off, and then they have a during their fight with the stormtroopers and stuff, like Moff, because the Mandalorian gets the big turret that Moff Gideon has the deal to shoot with, and then so he does fight off the stormtroopers. Then Moff Gideon sees him with it, and then shoots, and then there's an explosion. The Mandalorian's kind of injured, so we have that, and they're IG-11 cuts their way open to get into the sewer thing, and then the Mandalorian's almost about to die and stuff, where him being injured. And Cara Dune, tells him to protect the child and stuff. And then is where, them to go, and then pretty much, Cara Dune and Greef go, and then IG-11 kind of fix up the Mandalorian, then they catch up to Cara Dune and Greef, so they have that bit. And, along with the Baby Yoda character, then you're in the sewers, then, they find and then pretty much, the Mandalorian is getting better and stuff, is in that bit there, and then they go to find their way to meet, the armor person, does all the Beskar and all that. And then in it, they find a big pile of Mandalorian armor on the ground, and then kind of the Mandalorian gets mad at Grief and says, like, what did you do and stuff, because he kind of thinks it was, that he killed him and stuff. So he probably has that, but, from the, the third episode when they have the big fight, and then kind of where, the Mandalorian escapes with the Baby Yoda. But, I guess, it could have been more of that, and then, so there's that, and then the armor person says it wasn't his fault, and then says how the Empire came and all that, and then some of them escaped off-world. They have that bit, and then, because the Mandalorian shows the child who's the Baby Yoda character, then that, and then they talk about how it can use the Force and stuff. So, and then they talk about, then the armor person, the armor lady mentions about, the sorcerers named Jedi, that kind of like their enemies and stuff. And then they say, like, the child is a foundling. So we have that. And then stormtroopers come, and then IG-11, finishes them off. And then we have the part, then they go to the river part, and then we also have the Mandalorian gets his jetpack, then he gets an insignia on his shoulder, on one of his shoulder pads, on his shoulder. And then, we go on the lava river. That's where our three heroes, along with IG-11 and the Baby Yoda character, go to, trying to get out of the sewers. Then they're on the lava thing. Then we see like this astromech droid kind of got put some like arms. It's almost like someone took a part of an astromech and then part of another droid to make it and stuff. So they're on the lava thing, and then kind of through the scanners, they Grief thinks they're three, but on the scanners it look there's stormtroopers up ahead. Then Cara Dune shoots that like thing that has the astromech to stop the boat, and then it keeps going, and then kind of IG-11 walks into the lava because he plans to self-destruct, and he walks all the way up kind of as a sacrifice, and then once he walks up to the end, he self-destructs to defeat the stormtroopers, and then he self-destructs, and the stormtroopers kind of get killed in the explosion. And then it was kind of as a way like he made the sacrifice for them. And then once they get there, they see Moff Gideon's TIE fighter, and then Grief tells the Baby Yoda character, do the magic hand thing, which probably he doesn't know what the Force is. And then the Mandalorian gets it on his gets his new jetpack to fight Moff Gideon's TIE fighter. And then he tries on a first attempt of a bomb, and it drops and it explodes. Then on the second attempt with the bomb, he's lucky, and then after that, then Moff Gideon sees that there's a bomb on his TIE fighter. Then the Mandalorian jumps off, and then Moff Gideon's one of TIE fighter wings blows up, and then he crashes his TIE fighter. And then we have the happy ending that our heroes are victorious, and then Cara Dune stays for the meantime, and then Grief, and then the Mandalorian kind of wants to leave Navarro and all that. And then pretty much, they're just talking and stuff, and then the Mandalorian and the Baby Yoda character leave, and then it cuts to the end as where we see the crashed TIE fighter. Then Moff Gideon cuts his way out of the crashed TIE fighter, and it's revealed that he has the Darksaber, which appeared in Clone Wars and Rebels, so we get to see the Darksaber make its live-action appearance, which I thought was pretty cool. And I think Moff Gideon is going to be the main villain of Season 2, and definitely this episode, I'd say, was a pretty good finale for Season 1, and I think it really sets the stakes for Season 2, and can't wait to see how it all plays out. And Definitely, I really enjoyed this season so far, and it definitely a pretty good start for the first ever live action Star Wars show. And that's pretty much all I gotta say in this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.